Are you going? We're going. Hey, she gave me this little symbol. I guess that means okay. Well, all right. We're talking about children and persuasion. Well, it turns out that children are more subject to persuasion than grown-ups are. And it's pretty straightforward, and it's because the frontal lobes in the brain don't fully develop until a kid is about 21 or something like that, which really explains why teenagers are stupid, right? Teenagers make dumb choices. If I got any teenagers in my audience, boo-hoo, deal with it. You'll grow up, and your brain will be fully developed, and then you'll be a genius, all right? But it turns out that long-term planning and thinking is done by this frontal lobe, and so people are more likely to be persuaded, especially by things like a friend brings you pot. Should you take it? You know, duh, because you can't plan out the long-term thinking. So many European nations, they restrict advertising that targets children, okay? And I can respect that, because I can tell you, as a parent, why do I have to be the bad guy? Why do I have to be the guy that says no when my kid just sees on television, but look, the little boy has it. Yeah, shit. So it's my job to be the bad guy and say no to all this crap. If my kid didn't know about it, I wouldn't have to worry about it, right? In America, the average child sees 10,000 commercials a year. I think that's maybe an old number, because nowadays with the DVR, my kids can see 0, all right? It's amazing how that works. I like this. Irma Bombeck, probably most of you are too young to remember Irma Bombeck, but she was a hilarious lady from the 70s that wrote, "If life is a bowl of cherries, how come I always seem to get the pits?" You know, something like that. But anyway, in general, my children refuse to eat anything that hasn't danced on television. I like that. Now I'm just trying to think of the Fruit of the Loom underwear commercial. I don't know. Again, maybe I've dated myself. It's been shown that children can be inoculated. I said that. Oh, yeah, by viewing and analyzing ads with grown-ups. I work real hard on this with my kids. They see this really great helicopter, and they show these kids playing with it and smiling with it. And I tell them, look, we buy that product. It was made in China. You know what's going to happen? You're going to turn it on. It's going to hit the ceiling. It's going to crack, and it's going to be garbage in 5 minutes, okay? It's going to suck. Don't tell me that kid is smiling like that. They paid that kid to smile like that, all right? I teach them about, it turns out that, I saw this really great documentary one time about how they put together advertisements for fast food. And they showed how they did the French fries, and they fry the French fries. In the commercials, they show the glistening French fries and the smoke coming up. Well, they take the French fries and they grill them up, or fry them, or whatever they do, and then they leave them sit out for about 3 weeks so they get nice and hard, and then they glaze them. They take a glaze onto them to give them a nice shiny coat, and then they put the salt on it, with glue. They glue the salt on it. Then they put toothpicks up the middle of the French fry to keep them rigid and straight so they stand up perfectly straight in the box, and then they throw in a little bit of dry ice in the bottom of the box to make this nice look come out. And I'm like, if you had that in front of you, as lovely as that looks, if you had that in front of you, you would choke and die on it, okay? That's a fact, all right? Don't fall for that stuff. So hopefully I've convinced my kids, right? I mean, we'll see. We'll see. This is pretty much just another way of seeing, we talked about this before. Things that can, you know what, you guys read this stuff. Yeah, you guys can read this. What makes it good, what makes it bad. We already talked about propaganda a little bit. But I'm going to talk a little bit, very, very briefly. It's not really exactly the point, but propaganda, right? We had said the act of persuasion that tries to spread biased information to support something. I want to show you a couple of these different methods that are used in propaganda. An emotional appeal, spicy foods and here's a good one. Don't buy your insurance from Deal State. That outfit is a bunch of crooks. It's just an attempt to bring out your emotional feelings. It's not a real argument. It's not a fair argument. It's not a logical argument. Personal attacks. You've seen all of these being used, okay? Sam, a convicted felon, wants to ban smoking in restaurants. His opponents attack his criminal record, not his idea. So can you imagine? Now the lawbreakers want to make the law. It's totally irrelevant if Sam is a convicted felon and the fact that he wants to ban. There's no connection between the two. You attempt to discredit the point by discrediting the person. This is lawyer ball. That's what they do. I mean, they try to make, oh, I have this great witness on the stand, so why don't I just, go back to this witness's past and find something naughty about this witness and then bring that out. Totally irrelevant to this point, but done all the time. The Straw Man Fallacy, where you substitute, Here, Governor Goodfeeling opposes drilling for oil in Alaska, but the U.S. is too dependent on foreign oil supplies, and the economy would benefit from having an American supply for oil. The government wants to keep us dependent on foreign oil cartels. No. The governor probably doesn't want to kill all the wildlife or some shit like that, right? So it's just the governor's reasons for opposing are not known. They're not mentioned. Instead, you use a scare tactic. Circular logic. I like circular reasoning. Spinach is awful tasting food because it tastes bad. I like it. So circular logic is simply to come around and define something using itself. Name calling, it's a way to use propaganda, right? Testimonials, irrelevant personal opinions. Famous athlete Jerome Highjumper says, drinking milk every day makes me the athlete I am. I mean, it's just unrelated, yet you use it. Plain folks, this is the one I like to... You just watch in Iowa how many times they go to them pancake restaurants, okay? I can count it now. Candidate running for office dressed in blue jeans and a plaid shirt eating a hot dog. I mean, come on. It's just crap, all right? If your job is to sell a product, well, then I guess that's what you do. If you don't give to the toy drive, you don't care about children. Okay. How about you didn't give to the toy drive because you're poor, or you didn't give to the toy drive because you're busy, or you didn't give the toy... No. So, that's just silly. Post hoc ergo propter hoc. I love it. That's one of the very few Latin phrases I can remember. After that, therefore, because of that, is basically what it says, and that is just simply saying, it's basically a superstition. If two things follow each other, if you see A and then you see B, post hoc ergo propter hoc is a logical flaw which basically says if you see A and then B, then A must have caused B. No. That's not true. Just because two things follow each other does not mean that one caused the other. Interesting, but you read this stuff. God bless America on a product transfer. Oh, I love this. I admit I fall for this too. I do. I'm looking for a plumber. I'm looking in the yellow pages, and I'm looking, and you know what I look for? I look for the one that put a Jesus fish in their ad. If they put a Jesus fish in their ad, I'm more likely to go to them. Maybe I shouldn't tell the sleazeball plumbers, okay? But I do. I fall for that stupid little Jesus fish in there. A vote for candidate Anthony is a vote for honesty and integrity. What does that even mean? All right, so we're done with that chapter. It's all about persuasion. Remember now, this is in the unit on those factors out there, whether we're aware of them or not, that push us and pull us, that take away from our ability to have free will. We think we have free will. I make my own choices. No, you don't, okay? You are influenced by advertising. We all fall for that stuff. You see a pretty girl on if you want me to look at a billboard, all you got to do is put a pretty girl up there. Well, then you are influenced by advertising. It really does work that way. So we'll come back and we'll talk about chapter, 8 next time, and the influence of the group or how the group will change you. All right?